Hello, this is Terry from Fabric Junction in Sturgis, South Dakota. Today I'm going to show you our quilt that we named Over the Top, and it was made with scraps with the exception of the 5-inch squares. But dig out your scraps, cut a bunch of 5-inch squares, and make this great block, and you can make a quilt. Maybe you don't want to make a quilt, because what I'm going to show you is some scraps that I found that I'm going to make it into maybe a pillow, maybe a table runner. I haven't totally decided, but I decided I like the block and I wanted to use it on the squares that I found, that I thought, these are going to make great 5-inch squares. And I found other scraps of green. I found the burgundy. I thought, boy, that creates an interesting look. So be creative. Since this is intended to help you use up your scraps, you can either go purchase a charm pack, which is what I used on the big one. I had a great charm pack that I thought, what am I going to do with this? I'm going to have Christopher take kind of another look at a quilt so I can show you that all my lights, I went through and just found a bunch of lights to use. I found a brown that I had that gave me enough brown to use it on all my squares. So that was what I called kind of my constant. And then on the border, I even used scrap. I didn't really care. I cut the pieces as wide as I wanted. There are a variety of lengths, as you can see, all the way around. So I used up a lot of scrappy pieces putting this quilt together. And I thought, this is wonderful. So go through your scrap bin and let's make the block for our over the top. We're going to start with our 5-inch square, and you need to mark the center. And I've already marked mine with a little bitty mark. Oh, I'm jumping ahead of myself. I am so excited to put this one together. I forgot you need to put your corner pieces together. So let me back up. Let's start with the small square, and we have the instructions on what you're going to cut. Was seen at the beginning of the video, and we'll show them again to you at the end of the video. All your pieces. If I remember right, these are 2-inch squares. I can't remember exactly my triangle, but we need to make a larger triangle, using our 2-inch squares. To do that, place a triangle, the top part of the triangle, in the corner, and we're going to sew that so that we have one of our sides. Let's do that here. I was going to say, I feel like I've unthreaded, and I did. That tends to happen occasionally when you get ready to sew. Thought I was all set, but you know, with these new machines, it doesn't take that long to, let me get it up there, to actually rethread. And once you know, I am nope, up, there we go. There, cut. It doesn't take that long to rethread these machines, especially when they have a threader already on them. That's even nicer. Okay, to make sure it doesn't pull out, I'm going to make sure I have plenty of thread there. Okay, I am ready. We'll see if this time my bobbin is full. Half the time I run out of bobbin on things. Okay, there's one. I'm going to send another one through the machine, because when I do things like this, a lot of times I like to have several going through the machine at the same time. I'm going to do 2 of them. Okay, once I have them, give me a second, I walked away from my little thread cutter that I like. When I have a great big line of these sewn together, I use my cutter because it goes very fast. Anyway, press. Turn my iron up a little bit higher. There we go. Okay, I have one side done. And to make sure that I get my other one right, I lay it out. And I like to sew from the top. I flip it over, flip it this way. Because this is one time that I do sometimes get my triangles on upside down, or I've got them going the wrong way. So I tend to double check that I have them going the correct way before I sew them. Okay, there's number 2. Now I should have my big triangles ready. There we go. Mix up all my colors. Cut off my dog ears. Now I'm ready to attach. These are the ones I'm going to attach first, is these triangles. And that's the reason I need to mark. And what I actually marked was my 1/4 inch. And how I did that is I took my ruler, and I know these are 5-inch squares, so half is 2.5. And I put, in this case, a tiny arrow at the point, because otherwise I couldn't see it. So that the point of the center, I'll be able to match it up with the intersection of my triangles and my square, because I want those to remain in the center. So from this side, I put a pin right at that crossroads, what I consider the crossroads. Oh, I'm off just a hair. I keep wanting to go to one side just a little more than the other. There we go. And then I can look for that little spot here. Come on, there you are. And I can line those up. So I put the pin in, I put my pieces straight across, I put the pin in, I put a second pin in because I don't want to turn this one because it'll shift. So I put this one in nice and close. And now I'm going to sew with this on the top, and I want to cross that intersection where the other seam cross each other. That's where I want to cross, right on top of that. Okay, let's not unthread this time. There we go. Pull my pin just before I get there. Line up on the other side. I do one side and then I actually do my other side. Let's see, and I want to make sure I'm kind of got them mixed up. I don't want to have the same pieces because I want a very scrappy look. Find my center. Find my mark. The hair off. There we go. Find my mark. Again, line it up. And as you can see, you have an overhang. That overhang is basically 1/4 inch. Sometimes when I'm sewing, it could be just a smidgen less or a smidgen more, but it's generally really, really close. And don't tell me I undid my thread again. I did. You ever have one of those days that kind of no matter how many times you sew, you're either, it's the day your bobbin wants to run out all the time, or your thread, or even it's the day you break your needle. Seems like when I break a needle, I'll break 3 or 4 right in a row. There we go. So this is my day for the thread to come undone. There we go. Let's look go up a little, pull my pin, finish lining it up. Now that I've done 2 of the sides, now I'm ready to press. Because now I can press them both. And because of the bulk that's on this one, I actually want it to press into the center. And that is the less bulky on this particular one. There we go. And as long as I'm at the iron, I need to know the center on my other 2 sides. So I line it up and I do just a little press. I don't want it to stay there permanently. Just enough so I can see the crease when I line up the large triangles. So I'm going to pick out 2 triangles that are different. That one's different and that one's different. Great. I'm going to find the center of those. I fold the long, not the short. I fold the long side of the triangle. Do a little press. Long one, little press. And then that's what I can line up. Those 2 little creases. I can line those 2 up. And I can go ahead and pin one. And I can pin the other one. I don't have to match seam allowance because unlike the other, I just need to make sure that it's center. And there. Now let's see. Thread, stay with me. Or did I? I did it again. Like I said, do you ever have one of those days that no matter what you do, the thread just wants to pop out? Where's that cutter? There it is. Ta-da! Well, if nothing else, you have got to see me practice threading the machine. And I will say with the new threader, or the way they thread the machines nowadays, are so nice. Because I'm getting to where I don't always see the eye of the needle anymore. Okay, stitch, stitch, stitch. Let's go to the other side. Cut. Oh, maybe that's it. That time it cut just so tiny. There. Be on the safe side. So when I do my other one, I won't have to rethread. There we go. And normally I would be doing several of these at one time and not always have that particular problem. But whatever. Just to let you know that yes, having the needle come unthreaded happens. It just happens. And like I said, you could sew all day long and not have it happen, and then you could sew the next day, and as you can see, it can come unthreaded several times. Well, either way, I have my block. I have one more that I can create. I only could find 6, so I'm not quite sure exactly what I'm going to do with these, but I might do a pot holder. I might find some other scrap to put a little around it. I might do a pillow. Maybe my pillow is going to have all 6. Maybe it's going to be a runner. I don't know. All I know is I'm able to use up some of my scrap to make this little project using the same block to make my big scrappy quilt from over the top. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Like us on Facebook. Check out our blog. Maybe you'd like to see our website. We do carry the packs of charm packs if you want to go that direction. But overall, thank you very much for watching us here at Fabric Junction, and have a great day.